practice with a purpose and practice consciously, not unconsciously. And what I mean by that is every shot should have an intention. What you're doing warming up should have a specific intention. Whether how you stretch or get your muscles loose to how you hold the grip, the first shot should not just be a blank shot. Every shot should have a purpose. The other thing is that it's always important to observe what you're doing. If you have an intention and then you don't watch or observe what actually happened on that shot, then you're not learning. It's not going to change what you're doing. So always be learning and always observe what's happening. One thing that I would also add is that you can overtrain, and your body will start to break down if you overtrain. And I heard one time a long driver say he hits 1,000 balls a day. And me personally, usually a large bucket of balls is about 80 golf balls, and that's usually plenty for me. It takes me around an hour to an hour and a half to hit 80 golf balls, and that's including my warm-up. So I would say, be careful in overswinging, overhitting, because you can, it leads to injury. And actually, if you overhit, you'll slow down. Your speeds will decrease. So find that optimal range for you. I'm sure that some people, maybe 50 balls at a practice session is great, and maybe 100 balls is great for somebody else. But just be conscious of what's happening in your training. Speed training is very important with long drive and hitting the ball farther. There are some key points that you want to focus on, and one of them is that whatever your 100% is right now, if you only practice at 90%, you're never going to improve your 100%. And if you do, maybe just slightly. So if you really want to make some advancements in your swing speed, you really need to push yourself to the limit. And this goes back to, in your practice sessions, one thing that I do a lot is that I'll hit the last 8 or 10 balls just as fast as I can. And I'm not worried necessarily about the ball flight or where they're going. I am trying to hit the sequence points of the swing, the positions correctly, because that will improve my speed. But pushing yourself to the limit is important. Making whatever your 100% is now become your 90%. And your new 100% is maybe your old 110%. Feel not being real is probably one of the biggest hurdles I've had to overcome. And it still creeps up in competition. I'll go to what's feeling right, and a lot of times that's wrong. And your body feels different every day. You wake up and you might feel, refreshed or tired, or your hamstrings might be tight, or your hands, what you're feeling in the golf swing, you may feel like you're taking the club inside or taking it away from you, or high hand, all that stuff. You really need to verify that. And a lot of the times the best way to do that is to have somebody observe what you're doing, or at least video, and then you look and see what you're doing. I'll be working on the driving range and hitting shot after shot, and I will think that I'm moving a certain way. I'll have somebody come over and video me. And literally watching one swing, I can see what I'm doing wrong, but I don't feel like I'm doing that. So, and then the correction a lot of times doesn't feel right, but when I do it, it is right. I'm getting the right result. But so that's one thing that we need to overcome a lot of times, is what we're feeling isn't necessarily what's really happening.